What if I told you that pieces of the most controversial home in entertainment history are still out there, scattered across America? A Ferris wheel from a billionaire's private ranch, now sitting at traveling fairs. A zoo once held exotic animals, completely erased. And a 2,700-acre estate that once was filled with music, rides, and children's laughter, now completely silent. But behind those gates, something happened that changed everything, and most people have never heard the full story. This is the story of Neverland Ranch, and how a dream slowly turned into one of the most debated places in the world. To understand Neverland Ranch, you have to understand Michael Jackson. He did not grow up like a normal kid. While other kids were going to school and playing outside, Michael Jackson was performing on stage, recording music, touring the world, and becoming famous before he was even a teenager. Later in life, he often said that something felt taken from him, his childhood. In 1988, he purchased Sycamore Valley Ranch in California. He renamed it Neverland. Inspired by Peter Pan, the boy who never grew up. Then he transformed it into something the world has never seen before. Neverland wasn't just a home. It was a private amusement park. It included a Ferris wheel, a roller coaster, a carousel, bumper cars, a pirate ship ride, a wave swinger, a full train system with stations across the property. It also had a zoo featuring elephants, giraffes, flamingos, monkeys, exotic birds, and so many more. Inside the main house was a movie theater, an arcade, a candy shop, and guest areas for visitors. Neverland became one of the most unique private estates in the world. Imagine about hearing about this place as a kid. You have rides, you have animals, you have candy, you have a private train in your own backyard. It was built to feel like a dream, and for a while, that's what it was. One of the most overlooked actual parts about Neverland is how many actual children showed up. Sick children, charities, and non-profit organizations were regularly invited to the ranch. Many were seriously ill. Others came from difficult circumstances. For them, Neverland was not controversy. It was an escape. It was a break from pain, treatment, and hardship. Michael also hosted large holiday events, especially Christmas celebrations. The ranch will be fully decorated, lights everywhere, rides operating, gifts for children. Some families describe the experience as life-changing. For those people, Neverland wasn't strange. It was kindness. But outside those gates, the world was starting to see something different. By the 1990s, Michael Jackson has already become one of the most famous people on earth, and Neverland Ranch became part of that. Reporters camped outside the gates. Helicopters flew overhead. Stories spread constantly. Some were true, some were exaggerated, and some were completely false. But all of it turned Neverland into a global obsession. A place people talked about, even if they have never seen it. But while the world was focused on the spectacle, a much more serious narrative was beginning to form behind the scenes. One that would eventually bring law enforcement to the front gates of Neverland Ranch. And once that door opened, nothing would ever be the same again. In the 1990s, Michael Jackson faced serious allegations involving a minor. This led to a major investigation and civil settlement in 1993. The case did not result in a criminal conviction. After months of testimony, Michael Jackson was found not guilty on all charges. But this placed Neverland under intense public scrutiny. Years later, Additional allegations and investigations followed, which made the story around Neverland even more complicated. In 2003, authorities executed a search warrant at Neverland Ranch. Multiple law enforcement agencies entered the property as part of a criminal investigation. Every major area of the estate was searched and documented in detail. The operation became one of the most publicized celebrity home searches in modern history. What made this moment so shocking was not the investigation itself. It was seeing Neverland transformed in real time, from a private fantasy world into a global criminal case. Supporters point out, by the intensity of that search, no physical evidence was ever presented during that case. But by then, the damage to public perception had already been done. The 2005 trial became one of the most watched celebrity trials in history. After months of testimony, Michael Jackson was found not guilty on all charges. But even after the verdict, Neverland had already changed forever. Michael Jackson later stated that Neverland will no longer be considered his home, and he never lived in there again. The place he built as a sanctuary had become impossible to separate from controversy. After Michael left, Neverland slowly faded away. The animals were removed. The rides were sold. The estate was renamed back to Sycamore Valley. And in 2020, it was purchased by billionaire Ron Burkle for $22 million. But Neverland didn't completely disappear. Some of its original rides were sold and now operate at fairs and amusement parks across America, which means pieces of Neverland are still out there, just no longer together. Today, the estate still does exist, but the rides are gone. The animals are gone. The crowds are gone. And what remains is a place frozen in time. A place the world still debates. Was Neverland a dream, a tragedy, a symbol of generosity, or something in between? One thing is certain: no celebrity home in history has ever captured the world's imagination quite like Neverland Ranch. So what do you think? Was Neverland a dream or something else entirely? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this documentary, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Until the next one, I appreciate y'all. Peace.